What is op art? It's short for optical art, and it's a style of visual art that uses optical illusions. Artists use shapes, colors, and patterns in special ways to create images that look as if they are moving or blurring. Op art started in the 1960s. The painting above is by Bridget Riley, who is one of the most famous artists of the movement. She was born on the 24th of April, 1931 in London. Bridget Riley was greatly influenced by her time in the advertising industry, and later on, a lot of her designs were used in the fashion industry, and models like Twiggy, a famous model in the 1960s, wore her designs on the catwalk. When Bridget Riley first exhibited her black and white abstract paintings in the 1960s, people were amazed at how they seemed to move. It was like she was painting with electricity, and the patterns were live wires. Some people have reported feeling seasick or experiencing a falling sensation after looking at her paintings for too long. Most of Bridget Riley's paintings are in black and white, but she used color too. Her paintings encourage the eye to move all over the creation.
Hey friends, welcome back to the Art Room. For this week's assignment, we're going to be doing a project on optical illusion art and drawing. We're going to be using three elements of art. We're going to be using line, shape, and form. And for our optical illusion, we're going to be creating form by using highlights and lowlights, line, and shape. So join me in the art room and we'll get started on the project. Bye, everybody. Hi, welcome back to the art room. We're going to be creating optical illusion art today. And we're going to be combining three elements of art: line, form, and shape. For today's materials, we will need a pencil, a black marker like a Sharpie, a ruler or straight edge, a pair of scissors, drawing paper, and some colored pencils. Now you're definitely going to need colored pencils on this one or crayons, but no markers for this project. We need to make our paper square for our design. So you're going to fold it in half, creating a triangle edge. So I'm going to fold one corner over and make a nice crisp edge. Now this little extra piece here, I'm going to fold this back right along the edge so that I'm making a triangle out of my paper. And this little piece here is going to get cut away. This is how we're going to create a square out of our paper. Once this little piece is removed, you can put that to the side. We're going to open up our paper. Now we have a perfect square. We're going to fold the other corner up right to that edge and make a nice crisp line here so that when we open it, we have four triangles. Now, using a Sharpie and a straight edge, we are going to make these lines, the fold lines, we're going to draw into those. So I'm going to start at the corner with my straight edge and go all the way down. And on the other one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to line up the corners. And I'm going to hold the ruler down while I make a nice straight line. So you'll have four triangles. In each of these triangles, we're going to draw two lines. And they don't have to be equal in each of these sections. So you can do it with a pencil in case you're concerned that they get funky, or you can do it with your black marker. I'm going to do mine with a pencil to start. And I'm not measuring where they are. I'm just starting right at the center and going out to the edge. But they don't have to be the same spacing. They can be random. So there should be 12 lines in total. Now, I'm going to go back over each of these lines with a black marker. You can freehand it if you can draw straight. If you can't draw straight, or you're not sure you can draw straight, or you're like, that scares me, I don't want to do it, use a ruler. I rest my hand on the paper when I'm drawing, and then I draw straight down, and I always draw towards me. I find I have more control. However, if you think it's going to be wobbly, grab your straight edge. So my last two here, I'm going to just show you. I'm going to line it up where the pencil line was from the center out. It may actually go faster to use a straight edge. All right, so I'm going to show you the split screen here of what we're trying to do. We're going to be creating a U shape in pairs in each triangle. So the first triangle I'm going to do is I'm going to create a pair of U's that look like they're bending away from the center. So 2 lines that are parallel, 2 and 2, with a bend away from the center. I'm going to skip the next triangle and do the same thing. A pair of U's bending away from the center of the paper. Skip, go to the next one. Pair of U's, U and a U, and then skip, bend it away from the center, then skip, and another pair of U's, and then skip, and then another pair. Next, we're going to do the triangles that we haven't drawn on yet. But this time, the U shape is going to be the opposite. It's going to look like it's bending in towards the center. These do not need to line up with the other triangles. You just have to have a pair, and they're going to curve towards the center. So 1, 2, and they go towards the center. So 1, 2, my first pair, 1, 2, my next pair. So each one that we haven't done is going to curve towards the center. So we're alternating each triangle. The U's are going either towards the center or away from the center. And I forgot one. Here's the last one. So there's our line. It's already a pretty cool design. So the next part is you're going to get your pencils, and I've decided to do a red, white, and blue theme because Memorial Day is coming up this weekend. But truthfully, you can pick any color combination that you want. You're going to pick 2 colors. So I'm doing red and blue. And you want to make sure that your colored pencils are really sharp before you start. Okay, so I'm going to start with my, my red pencil, and I'm going to go every other triangle. It has to alternate. I'm going to start with the first pair, and I'm going to draw 2 parallel lines that are parallel with the edge. I want to be able to create the illusion that these are round, and I'm going to do this using highlights and lowlights. I'm going to color in the 2 sides of the of this design, and I'm pushing down really hard so that when I color this in, I'm getting a very opaque, a very dark color on it. I'm really putting some pressure on it as I color it in. Once I finish coloring the 2 edges in, I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to color in the center of each of these, but I'm going to do it very, very lightly. This is going to give the illusion of a highlight, which is going to create form in this image. And if you notice, I'm putting very, very little pressure on my pencil as I'm filling this in. And I'm blending it with the sides. So as we continue, we're going to alternate triangles. So I'm going to skip the next one, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to draw two parallel lines that line up with the black marker lines on the sides. And to keep track of what I'm doing, I'm going to alternate, or I'm going to skip every other triangle and go right to the next one so that I have a pattern going here, and then I don't confuse myself. And take a look at it before you start coloring to make sure they're every other one and you haven't gone to the one right next to it. So I'm going to color these in, and I'm going to speed this up, and I'll meet you at the end of the red ones. All right, so I have my red ones finished. These are pretty good. Now I'm going to start the blue, and I'm going to do the same thing as I'm going to draw two parallel lines, and then I'm going to fill in the edges, and I'm going to push down with my pencil so that I get a nice dark opaque color on the sides. And if you notice, when I'm coloring these in, I'm trying to go in the same direction. So I'm coloring from the edge in. It'll help to create that illusion of form if your strokes kind of go that direction. And then I'm going to go over the center very, very lightly and try to blend it in. I'm not putting any pressure, really, very, very, very light pressure with my pencil. And I'm going to clean up any little dots that I see just to blend this in a little bit. And I'm going to speed it up and till we get to the end. All right, so we finished up the blue. This looks pretty good. So the last thing I want to share with you is, I mean, you could leave it at this point because the optical illusion this has created of form of kind of going in and out and creating a 3D effect. You could leave it like this, but what I'm going to do is go in and color the tips. So these almost look like pencils to me. And I colored them in a little silver. But you want to make sure, again, that you alternate so that you create this illusion, because if you do all of them, they're just going to flatten out. So to create this optical illusion, you want to alternate or go every other triangle when you fill it in. So I picked the red ones, and I'm filling in the tips of each of the red ones just to create a little contrast in the center. You could do a different color. I just did silver. And that's about it. So I hope that you enjoyed this optical illusion assignment. It's kind of fun. This is one I did earlier with a different color pattern. You don't have to use a color pattern I did. You can use any colors that you'd like. Just make sure that you limit it to 2 colors and that you alternate every other triangle. Have a great time. See you next time in the art room.